Governor Chris Christie, Republican from New Jersey, says it's BS. He actually said the whole word that he would want to use his sand dune hurricane storm prevention plan to start building all sorts of bathrooms and all sorts of stuff on people's land. So to give you some backstory on this, since Superstorm Sandy destroyed a bunch of the Jersey Shore in October, officials put together a system for protective sand dunes along basically 127 miles of coast. And since that, a lot of homeowners have been refusing to sign easements, which would give federal and state officials permission to actually do the work. And the reasons are, I'm afraid you're going to put a boardwalk on my property, you're going to put a bathroom on my property, a snack stand, amusement rides could go up nearby, whatever it is. And yesterday, Governor Christie said, you know what, it's BS. And he said the whole word. I won't say it, not because I'm afraid of it, but as you know, we are on a lot of broadcast stations where I'm not allowed to say certain words because people's lives would be ruined if they heard those words. But putting that aside, Chris Christie said, I have no interest in taking your property. I have no interest in building anything other than a sand dune. I don't want to build a road. I don't want to build a shower. I don't want to build a hut. Any knucklehead neighbor of yours that says, oh, Christie comes in, there's going to be showers, bathrooms, and a hot dog stand. Let me use a word. And then he urged children to cover their ears. BS, he roared. And he said, that's what it is. They don't want their views blocked. Also, Chris Christie making news, angering some Republicans over the last few days for saying, hey, listen, President Obama made some promises with regard to Hurricane Sandy recovery, Superstorm Sandy recovery, and he kept every promise. A lot of Republicans not liking a statement that appears to be just more or less factually true. So my thought on this, I wanted to comment on this because the biggest problem for me when we hear these things, I don't actually believe, the discussion is not proper here, Natan. The discussion of whether Chris Christie personally has some plan to get people to sign easements to then build up bathrooms or showers or boardwalks or hot dog stands personally is not really the issue. It's more about what will the state guarantee they won't do with that easement in the future. Now, the easements that I've read are being requested to be signed say that this is limited to the sand dunes. And I, not being a legal expert, I would say, hold on a second. If the document you sign specifically says this, your easement can only be used to build a sand dune, it doesn't seem to be a concern. That being said, Chris Christie won't be around indefinitely as New Jersey governor, and you may need something in place which says, no, the government is committing not to do anything else. That's really what it is, and I don't really understand why there is so much commotion from people about this.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that this is sort of something that is going to become a lot more of a problem on either coast of the United States and across the world. I'm thinking Netherlands as like an immediate concern. As the climate changes, as the planet warms, you're going to see sea levels rise. And a lot of these coastal areas you're going to either have to force people to move out with, compensation, or you're going to build, dunes or levees that are going to be unsightly. So It seems like there's going to be a lot more of this type of controversy in the next few decades.
And of course, the countdown continues to Chris Christie becoming a Democrat. Unclear where the countdown is, but I feel like there is a countdown happening.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually like this guy. I don't agree with most of the things that's the thing. He's kind of a conservative on local things, but nationally, he seems to be like a conservative Democrat.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know I would rather him be the Republican candidate and have him be like the backup. If we don't get the Democrat elected, we get this kind of a Republican. I'm for that.